go. And you know, you can let them cool a little bit more, but don't worry, those will not be left behind. Okay, get every last drop. And that is our beautiful cornbread mix. So flavorful. It smells amazing in here. Okay, grab your final 2 tablespoons of butter. And this is a critical step to ensuring that you get a gorgeous, glorious, golden brown, crisp edge on your cornbread. It almost like fries the underside of the cornbread so you get that wonderful texture, that little bit of bite. So don't skimp. 2 tablespoons of butter into your same cast iron skillet. Get that melting. And you want your pan pretty hot at this point because you almost want the butter sizzling when you pour this cornbread mix in. It immediately sets the base. It's all about developing that maximum textural and flavor play that we are always after. Okay, so the butter is lovely and melted, and one thing you do kind of want to do is just sort of swirl it around the edges so that all of your cornbread, where it hits the hot surface, is going to get that immediate fry action. Pan is hot, people. Let's pour our cornbread in. Are you ready? This is what we're saying. See how it is just frying right along that hot edge? Delightful. Okay, now with our pan hot and our butter sizzling and our cornbread frying on the edges, it is going to go into a 375-degree oven, like 25-30 minutes. Don't worry, you will smell when it is ready. You'll be able to insert a toothpick and it will come out clean, but you'll know. It's one of those things you just can't help but know. Into the oven. I'll be back. It's turkey time. Like I said, we are making a broken down turkey today, so prepare to have it not look like the turkeys that you are familiar with. Instead, it looks like this. And like this. So one thing you will see is it is already broken down. I had my butcher do this for me. If you are a glutton for punishment and need to prove yourself by breaking down your own turkey, I welcome you to refer back to my turkey recipe from last year where I spatchcocked my bird, and you can see the like full sweat that I broke into wrestling. Turkeys are like prehistoric animals. Their bone structure is so strong. I had a time trying to get that turkey to lay flat. So my gift to myself this year was to not have to prove to you that I could break it down myself and just have it done like this. Really nicely, what you are left with obviously are 2 beautiful breasts, 2 thighs, 2 legs, 2 wings, and then you also have the neck and the backbone. One little thing to keep in mind, do not throw these away. There's so much flavor and collagen, especially in the backbone and the neck. Freeze them along with the gizzards, and you can make turkey stock, you can make gravy. Do not let them go to waste, but we are not going to cook them today. We are going to focus our attention on this luxurious meat. And like I said, if you need extra breasts or thighs or whatever, you can actually just buy those pieces and augment your Thanksgiving display. Start a new tradition. These are going back in the fridge for now. So you may be wondering why that meat was in a bag and this meat is on a tray. I actually dry brined this turkey overnight. All that means is I took my turkey meat and salted it well on all sides, and then set it over a baking rack inside a baking tray. And the reason you want to do that is it actually lets the air circulate under the turkey as well as on top. And then I left it in my fridge uncovered overnight like so. That is going to start to dry out the turkey skin, which gives you maximum crispy, crunchy, golden brown results. It also really gives the turkey meat time to be flavored and really have that salt penetrate the meat, so you get juicy, delicious meat, crispy, golden brown skin. This method works for all poultry, but obviously with turkey, because it is such a big format meat, you want to give it that time to really boost the flavor as much as possible. One other thing that's really important to keep in mind is you want to take your turkey out about half hour, 40 minutes even, before you're ready to cook it, so that it has time to come to room temperature. When you cook any meat straight out of the refrigerator, it's going to cook unevenly because you're going to have pieces of the meat that are really cold, so the surface starts to come and get hot, and then the middle is still freezing cold next to the bone, and you will not be happy with the results. So let it rest on the counter like 40 minutes and it will come to roughly room temperature, and then you'll be ready to cook. Meanwhile, let's make our honey habanero glaze for this turkey. So I have my, what is now slightly cooled honey that has been allowed to hang out with these exquisitely hot habanero peppers, so they've had time to release their heat. Go ahead and grab yourself a bowl with a sieve set over top, and that's just to help us drain out a few of these pieces of chili. And remember, we're gonna only use half of the honey for the glaze itself, and the other half we will reserve and put on the table so that your Thanksgiving feast has even more condiments than usual. One thing I do wanna do is try this now spicy bit of chili honey. I feel like this could like revive you. It is sweet, it is spicy, it is waking up all your taste buds. It is delicious. It is very well balanced. I mean, I like really spicy things, so for me, this actually, I would like stir this into tea. I like it a lot, it's delicious. Okay, leave your chilies off to the side, and let's take a peek at our cornbread for a sec. The edges look golden and brown. The center looks lovely and set. The corn is roasty toasty. I'm so excited. Oh, let's call a spade a spade. It's perfect. Love. Oh, there, honestly, guys, the smell of cornbread, didn't think it could get much better, but then you pair it with onions, garlic, and celery, and it did. So once your cornbread is done, just go ahead and set it aside to cool. Again, in a perfect world, you make this a day or two ahead of Thanksgiving, so it has time to get a little stale. It will just make your cornbread that much more receptive to new flavors you add to it with the chicken broth, with the turkey drippings that are gonna be crackling down all over it as it all cooks together in the oven. If you make it the same day, all you're gonna do is let it cool, then cut it up into small cubes and toast it in the oven until those pieces are nice and hardened up and toasted a little bit, and you'll be in business. Okay, back to the glaze. So we have a little shy of a cup of now very hot and lovely honey here. And to it, I am going to add in a half stick of room temperature butter. This, my friends, is a critical step to making this a very silky and delicious glaze. And you can just pinch it in, but because my honey is not so warm anymore, I want to give it just a slight head start to have this butter start to melt into our honey. Ooh, getting lovely and creamy. Guys, it's fall and there's a crazy storm moving in, so it just got really dark in this kitchen. I turned some lights on, so the light might look a little different, you know. The food will still be the same. Okay, so once your butter is fully incorporated into the warm honey, which is here, now we're gonna add a few flavoring elements. A little squirt of Dijon mustard, not a ton, we just want a little hit of something different, a little tanginess coming in here. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, as the mustard hits that warm honey and butter combo, get a nice little perk of flavor there, and more fresh thyme, because why not? We love fresh thyme in this family. Then I am gonna add a little bit of salt. You can add pepper too. I tend to be a fan of adding pepper at the end after the turkey cooks because pepper has a tendency to burn. That is all we need. Let's add a little pinch of salt and taste. And remember, the turkey already has salt of its own, so I don't need to add too much more salt here, just a little bit to keep that flavor party going. Let's taste. Wow. Wow. Oh, the rain is starting, wow. But wow. This is phenomenal. So honestly, that just with the cornbread by itself, we're in business. But that wouldn't be Thanksgiving, so we're gonna keep the original plan. Not just gonna go straight to cornbread and butter glaze. I am going to get to cutting up my now cooled cornbread. You are just going to make sure it is comfortable to touch, and we're gonna just work it out to get it out of the pan. All you wanna do is loosen the edges, and we're ultimately going to be cutting this into roughly 1-inch cubes. Does not need to be too perfect looking. Ooh, but this one is pretty perfect looking, if I do say so. Just go ahead and cut yourself, like 1.5 inch cubes.